I can't see her doing something like that. She's super intelligent. I can't.
In this gripping tale, we uncover the harrowing journey of Zach, a husband who gradually comes face to face with a horrifying truth. He realizes that his beloved wife, the person he vowed to protect and cherish, is a cold-blooded murderer. In the interrogation room, the detective pressed Zach for information about his connection to Taylor.
Can you tell me how you came to know Taylor?
Through working PI cases.
Okay.
She'd come over to our house every now and then. She met my wife. They became friends.
Did you guys ever have a falling out or?
Never. From doing this job for so long, I would just pick up little lies from her. Stuff just didn't start seeming right. She would disappear for days. You couldn't get her on the phone. Greg and I would try to call her. You couldn't get her on the phone.
Taylor would disappear for days, making it impossible to reach her by phone. This wasn't entirely unusual, as Taylor had a history of going missing for brief periods. However, this time felt different. Taylor had been absent for over a month before her lifeless body was discovered. Initially, the police didn't consider Taylor's disappearance to be out of the ordinary. Taylor had left behind all her belongings, and the few texts she had sent to friends were written in an unfamiliar tone.
I mean, I'm sure now you've read the news and everything.
Yeah.
You kind of know the date that we're talking about. Have you had a chance to go back and pinpoint where you were on the 8th of September?
I can't remember, but I'm trying to do the very best I can so I could tell y'all the best I can. I went to the bank yesterday to pull my statement. I know I ate lunch at the seafood place at 9 Mile in Pine Forest. I ate there, and I remember eating by myself, and I remember Ash not being able to make it because she was tied up with work.
As Taylor was last seen on the 8th of September, Zach made an effort to piece together his activities on that particular day. Given that he had used his debit card to purchase food in the vicinity, it seemed plausible that his recollection was genuine. What intrigued the detectives, however, was his assertion of being alone while his wife was occupied with work. Zach seemed genuinely convinced of this truth, unaware that his wife had become the prime suspect in the murder investigation. Unbeknownst to Zach, the detective's primary objective was not to gather additional information about the case itself, but rather to ascertain his possible involvement or attempt to turn him against his wife.
Do you know anything about this money that Taylor had given you all?
No, absolutely not. She's never given me anything. I've never got anything from that. No.
Okay. Do you know anything about your finances?
No, to be honest. I give her when I work a case or and I got a settlement from my attorney, I hand it straight to Ash. She takes care of everything.
They inquired about any knowledge he might have regarding the money Taylor had entrusted to Ashley. The money in question amounted to $34,000, which Taylor had intended to keep separate from her own accounts during her divorce proceedings. Instead of fulfilling this promise, Ashley had deposited the money into her personal accounts. By the time Taylor requested its return, Ashley had already spent the entire sum. Coincidentally, Taylor had made this request on the 8th of September. While it was evident that Zach deeply cared for his wife and placed great trust in her, he remained oblivious to the suspicions surrounding her. So far, Zach had provided solid alibis for his whereabouts during Taylor's disappearance and had minimal involvement in the couple's financial matters. Nonetheless, the detectives felt compelled to eliminate any possibility of his involvement. To do so, they turned their attention to the location where Taylor's body was discovered, a property owned by Ashley.
The property up on Britt Road, and that's owned by her aunt and uncle. Have you ever been out there?
Yeah.
When's the last time you think you were out there?
The last time I went out there is when I traded my four-wheeler for a side-by-side. And that's the last time I've been. Before that, I couldn't tell you.
When was that?
A couple months back.
Your phone number, the 554 number, do you always keep that on you?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you ever loan it out to anybody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you ever loan it to anybody? Or
No.
do you remember Ashley ever using it, taking it with her?
No. Never.
Okay, did it ever get lost or stolen or anything and get replaced?
No, not that I recall.
Okay.
The detectives acknowledged that their line of questioning might seem random, but explained that phone records played a significant role in uncovering the truth of the case. Not only did the records show Ashley's presence at the property where Taylor was found dead on the 8th, but they also indicated Taylor's phone being present at a wedding that Ashley attended the following day. However, Taylor was never seen at the wedding or anywhere else after that date. The detectives aimed to confirm that if any suspicious activities were discovered in Zach's phone records, it would be undeniable that he had control over the phone. They were aware that Zach had limited knowledge regarding the true nature of the case and remained unaware of the evidence the police had against his wife. Zach's primary focus was defending himself and providing answers that could potentially help solve the case. Given Zach's cooperation thus far, the detectives decided to inquire about physical evidence.
Do you own any 9mm
Yeah.
handguns? What kinds?
My Glock.
Just one or
Yeah. When I've got a lot of guns, so a lot. I think one Glock 9.
what model?
19.
19? Okay. Do you know how Taylor died?
Yeah, for Ackerman told me that the girl was shot, and he heard that from Molchan.
So Ackerman told you and he got it from Molchan?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he elaborate on anything else?
He just said that they thought the girl was shot.
Okay. Did you ever buy Ashley a gun or anything of that nature?
Man, over the years, yeah. Yeah. I bought her a 380 one time.
What kind?
PPK.
Okay. And does she carry a firearm?
I haven't seen her one in quite a while. Not at all. Mm-mm.
Do you own a 38
I-
airweight?
Yes. And she used to, that's the last thing I ever remember seeing her with was a 38 airweight. And that was, I haven't seen her with that in I don't know how long.
I mean, I'm interested. Did you kill or participate in
Absolutely
the death
not. I would
Let him
never.
ask this question.
Okay. What ahead?
Did you kill or participate, or do you have any knowledge?
Zero, Jason. Absolutely none. I don't want to be nowhere near it, nothing involved with it, nothing. I know nothing about it.
The detectives pressed further, asking Zach directly if he had killed or participated in the crime or possessed any knowledge about it. Zach vehemently denied any involvement, emphasizing that he had zero knowledge and wanted no association with the crime. He expressed that he had nothing to do with it and knew nothing about it.
What do you think happened to Taylor?
I couldn't tell you, Jason. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, nobody deserves to ever get anything happen to them like that whatsoever. I don't know, buddy. I don't know what happened to her.
And, I'm asking you, as this investigation continues, whether it's text, phone records, computers, financials, is there going to be anything that hems you up or ties you
No,
to
absolutely
that?
nothing.
Well, and not just being involved in the actual murder, but as far as, afterwards.
Helping conceal.
If any person in this world was like, hey, Zach, come help me do something, I would run from that mother as fast as I could.
Well, I mean, just hell, it's all over the news.
Yeah.
You've read it.
Yeah, I've read
Right.
it, and I'm
And I mean,
trying to swallow it and figure it out. I mean, it's like, it's terrible.
but you've read it, so you know at least some of the details. Just based upon that and your knowledge of the job that we do and the job that you used to do, what's your thought?
Feelings aside,
Just logically.
I can't see her doing something like that. I mean, she's super intelligent. She's got a criminal. I mean,
master's degree.
yeah, or is it master's or I don't know, one of the two. And That's just sloppy. I mean, that's sloppy I can't see her doing that.
Despite his emotional attachment and personal beliefs, Zach couldn't ignore the mounting evidence against his wife. Bank statements and surveillance footage from a hardware store all seemed to point in her direction. The detectives had gathered enough compelling evidence, including Ashley's purchase of the same type of cement used to conceal the victim's body. In the presence of his lawyer, Zach took some time to discuss the situation and ultimately agreed to sign a search warrant, granting the detectives access to his cell phone records. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that Zach was not involved in the crime, and he was eventually cleared of any suspicion. He was allowed to return home, but his wife's fate was drastically different. Ashley MacArthur faced a trial where the jury found her guilty of first-degree premeditated murder.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Ashley MacArthur, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder with a firearm as charged in the indictment.
The court sentenced her to life in prison, with a mandatory minimum sentence of 25 years. She now serves her sentence behind bars, separated from her husband.